Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today we are going to start chapter number 7 of O levels biology 5090. As you see here, transport in flowering plants. In learning outcomes, as you see here, we have first of all need to discuss structure of root hair cells and their function of water and how ion uptake they will take place. And definitely we also discuss outline the pathway taken by the water through the root stem and leaves. And at the end of this lesson, we will finish with the investigation, which explain us how the water conducted from roots to the aerial parts of the plant. So let's start from the first learning outcome, root hair cell, its function, water ion uptake. So here, students, as you see the diagram, first of all, the structure of root hair. You see here the cross section of this root, the root epidermis, outermost layer of cells. Some of the cells they have long extension, and these specialized cells are known as root hair cells. These long thin extensions, root hair cells, they are long, narrow, they have projection, and because of this structure, they have a large surface area. And because of this large surface area, they absorb more water and minerals from the soil. So their absorption capacity increase because of their specialized elongated shape. So first of all, the root hair cells, these root specialized hair cells, elongated cells, they absorb water and minerals. And this water absorbed by osmosis from high concentration to low, and definitely magnesium and nitrate ions first they enter in the root hair cell by simple diffusion and later on by active transport. After the root hair, there is a layer of cortex, and the cortex is the layer of cells which is present all around in the root. Students, the root hair cells, their thin walls make easier and faster diffusion of water and ions into the cell. Not only its long thin extension, but their thin cell walls help in this function. Obviously, these are living cells. They have semi-permeable membrane, and in this through this semi-permeable membrane, active transport takes place. As I told you, the root hair cells they have a large vacuoles, and the large vacuoles helps to maintain high osmotic concentration. This concentration gradient facilitates the osmosis. And one more thing, these root hair cells they are done by the intake of nitrate and magnesium ions by active transport all the time. The water potential of the root hair cell is decreased. So that's why water always come from soil into the root hair cells. And the root hair cells not only absorb and store the ions, but also the water as well. And once water and ions are absorbed by the root hair cells, they need to be transported to the rest of the plant. So root hair cells are situated close to the xylem, between just cortex is present. So here you see the cross section of a root hair cells, and the cross section of a root with the detail. Now come to another diagram and explanation that after the absorption of water and minerals in the root, how transported to the aerial parts of the plant. Root hair cells, when the water and minerals are absorbed, then definitely from high water potential to low, these water molecules travel or enter in the cortex. From cortex to the root xylem, as you see here. And you know very well, that the xylem tissues are actually those tissues which conduct water and minerals, and always the direction of flow of water and minerals in the xylem tissues from root to the aerial parts. So, and definitely xylem tissues are the dead tissues. They don't have any cytoplasm, they don't have any cell contents. They have very thick walls which are lignified with lignin, and the xylem tissues are just like the straw. As you know, the straw is hollow from the center, and both the ends of the straw are open. Same here in the xylem tissues. Xylem tissues are dead, hollow, both the end walls are open, so the water easily flow, water travel through the xylem to the upper parts. And what are the forces which are involved in the conduction, upward movement of water? We will discuss in the next lesson that definitely the transpiration, capillary action, and the root pressure. Here you see that no internal cell walls in the xylem. Lignin strengthen the cell wall. Xylem is a dead tissue, and water move in the xylem tissue and reach to the vein in the xylem of the leaf. So in the leaf, when the water reach through the xylem tissues, it definitely distributed and transported, supplied to the palisade cells, to the spongy cells, where this water is used up for photosynthesis and keep all these cells turgid. The water from the xylem tissue not only used up in the photosynthesis, but this water also evaporate into the air spaces within the leaf, and it diffuses out through the stomata, and that process is called transpiration, which we will discuss later on in detail. So dear students, now I'm going to show you the proper pathway how water is transported from soil to root, root to the xylem, and xylem to the leaf. As you see, water in the soil, definitely water has a high water potential, high concentration of water molecules in the soil. So, as you know very well in osmosis, water molecules move from high concentration to low automatically. Passive transport to the root hair. Root hair cells, when they become turgid, they transport the water to the cortex cells of the root. As you see, the point which labeled here 1, 2, and 3, these are here 1, 2, and 3. This is the location in actual plant. So the from the root cortex, this water and mineral reach to the xylem of the root. And in the xylem of the root, water moves upward because of the transpiration pull, because of the capillary action, because of the root pressure. All of these forces make the water available in the leaf, and water move upward. So when water reach to the leaf by upward pulling force movement, this water in the xylem reach to the leaves. And as I earlier told you that in the leaf, this water is available for photosynthesis. This water is supplied to the palisade cells, to the spongy cells for photosynthesis, but most of the water evaporate and remain in the air spaces of the spongy mesophyll cells, and it diffuses out through the stomata, and it diffuses out through the stomata, and this process is called transpiration. So diffusing through the stomata, it is the end of this water. That, as you see now, the pathway, now how water journey, how water travel from soil to the leaf, and from leaf to the air. So at the end, now after the discuss the pathway, now we will see how water move actually in any plant. So students, we will take three plants, and most probably the celery plant. The celery is a very common vegetable which we'll take. And as you see, we just cut the stem of each celery plant and place it in a beaker with the different color solution. And after few hours, at least 3 hours, when we cut the stem of this celery plant, you see that in first the red, yes, in the xylem vessels, red stain is there, blue stain is there, and definitely the third one where we just take the water as a control, and there will be. So as you see, students, that in this experiment we take one control. As you see, control is the water. In the water, the celery plant do not have any stain, any color. But in other two beakers, the red and this dark blue food color, this color is present in the xylem vessel of the plant tissue. So, with the help of this experiment, we can easily identify the areas where xylem is present, because we know very well that xylem is actually involved in the conduction, in the movement of a water molecule, because it's a water pipe. So the location of xylem we can easily identify it with the help of this experiment. So students, next time I will explain the next learning outcome of the plant transportation chapter, and I need your feedback. Kindly give your feedback, and notes are available if you want. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.